Hey everybody, happy November. This is the MLS data for Bend, Oregon single family homes, and 63 days is the median days on market. That is an eternity compared to homes that are actually selling in 17 days. They're going pending. Of these people who have homes listed, over half have had to reduce price in the amount of 6.28%. So I want to take a look at these two graphs that show why this dynamic is happening. Here we have the price. Market value is in the middle, and if you price the home below market value, then on this axis you see here's the potential buyers. People come out and look at it like crazy. It's the best house at the best price. When we price things right at market value, we're getting access to a good portion of the buyer pool. When we price things above market value, no one comes to look at it. Could be the best house on the block, but if it's above what the market thinks is valuable, buyers just are not moving fast to see properties that are priced over value, especially with the rates. Now, what we've noticed is that we have bias as human beings, and the owner of a home oftentimes thinks their home is worth about 10% more than what the buyers in the market think. That's today's market. So how does that play out, and how can buyers and sellers benefit from learning about this information? I'll show you on this slide. This is pretty much the most important slide of this entire market for buyers and sellers. Okay, home price. On the left axis, home price is the highest when it's the shortest time on market. Meaning the first week your listing goes live, the buyers who are hot in that price and that looking for that house, they're going to show up right then if it's priced right. Okay, but what happens if we price it 10% higher? We say, let's see if we can get it. Okay, we price it up here, no one comes to see it. Well, then after no one comes to see it for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, seller decides to reduce the price to where we thought it might have been market value to begin with. But guess what? The market value deteriorates over the time of the listing because people think it's stale. They say, that must be so overpriced. It's still on the market. I'm going to wait. I'm going to let it come down and price more. And so we do that first price reduction, expecting showings, but the price is now less. So we don't get the showings, and the seller does corrections, and the value of the home goes down over the life of the listing. Look at any listing on Zillow right now, and you will see if it's been on the market over 30 days, it's going to have its original price and then 2, 3, sometimes 4 price reductions, and it's still not sold. That goes back to the beginning chart. We're seeing half of these listings have changed price 6%. But you got to keep in mind, half of these listings probably just came on the market. So most of the listings in Bend are overpricing and having to take reductions if they're motivated to sell. There's another portion of the listings out there, the sellers aren't motivated. They say, here's my price if you want to take it. Not much happens, but it's still an available listing. So with that dynamic in mind, let's take a look at the charts from this month's report. Inventory remains 2 months steady. This is the amount of homes for sale in relation to how many trade each month. We're not getting any more inventory. This is what we see. This is the price per square foot, and I want to focus on what happened this time last year. So if you look at November, price was $352 a square foot. The homes that closed in February were $40 a square foot less. 10% reduction in price happened between November and February. The market bottomed in February, but keep in mind, guys, that if you're trying to get a good price, the homes that closed in February were negotiated in January oftentimes. So people who are buyers right now are in this sweet spot of when the market is its softest. All the sellers who are trying to sell all summer and chase the market lower, some of the motivated ones, it's starting to get cold out. The house is vacant. They've moved on. This is the time to get a good price. Because what we then see as the trend is seasonal trend going into peak buying and selling season. We saw the price go up over 20% last season. 20%. It's a humongous number. And then we see prices be level in April, May, June, meaning if you get your listing on the market, you want to have it sold during that busy season, because if you don't, then you end up in the slow season trying to sell, which is never a great place to be. It can be done if you need to. We don't advise it unless you have that motivation. Number of sales in October, this is closings in Bend, 121. Look how low that is on the historical chart. That is some of the lowest volume we've ever seen. Usually don't see that kind of number until January, February. The market is sort of at a standstill. I heard it described as buyers and sellers are having a staring competition. It's a standoff, and what's happening in a standoff is pent-up demand is growing for both buyers and sellers. Someone who kind of wants to move has been waiting for the market to get better, but it wants to be able to move. So we're really watching with a magnifying glass how this slow season plays out going into the spring busy season, and how interest rates move over the next 3, 6, 9 months. Here's the interest rate chart for the last 3 months. Steady uptrend all the way to the 8s, and then a massive reversal. Last couple weeks we saw rates come from 8 to 7.5. A lot of people are calling the top end rates. We're not convinced yet, but we do think this could be the top end rates because of various reasons that would require some more charts and more time than we have today. But the long and the short of it is the CPI, the inflation is going down, the rent equivalents are going down, and we do think the Fed is going to hit their 2% target at some point this year, in which case rates would normalize to the 6% range, which has been a historic average for mortgage rates. So bottom line, sellers, if you can, wait to sell till spring. Winter is the prime time for buyers to get a deal. We're seeing some really nice deals happening right now for the buyers who aren't afraid. Prices jumped 18% last spring. So if you're a buyer thinking about should I buy now or in the spring, if you can find the property now is a way better time. If you can't find the property, you'll probably find it in the spring when more listings hit. It's just going to be more expensive. Pent-up demand is building, and buyers take advantage of the fear that everyone else has right now while rates are still high, if you can afford the payment at the higher rate and if the house is right for you. If you have any questions or want to go through any situations, myself or any Relo team member would be happy to consult with you.